Bloop. Logo. Need some time for my logo. Goes right there. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Noi. Thanks for watching my video. In it, I'm going to be showing you guys a process of thought I just saw something. I'm going to show you a process of a drawing that I recently did digitally, and why don't I just show you? It's going to be right there. Ann Takamaki, one of my most anticipated games this year. I haven't started it yet. I bought it like it's been sitting on my shelf for a couple weeks now, and I'm not gonna start it anytime soon, because if I do, I'm not gonna get anything done, and I want to get back into this YouTube thing, and then maybe in a month or so, once everything's calmed down, work and everything else, I'll get back into it, and I'll probably put in about 200 hours or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a process video. It's relatively long. It's about 40 minutes total. These things take me, I think this one took me about 5 hours to do, and I'm gonna ramp it 7 times speed. So you know, the math is about 40 minutes. So like I said, relatively long. I hope you guys like it. I enjoyed drawing it a lot. It was a lot of fun to do. So I'll see you after the video. Okay, bye. Alright, so here we go. I'm just starting out by drawing some, just going in roughly and just drawing the armature. Is it armature? I don't know. But the pose, the generic pose, using what I've learned so far with the circles and the squares and stuff like that. I usually draw 2 squares, like one for the chest and for the lower torso. But because I'm drawing a female character, I prefer to go with a circle for the upper body. I find it's more elegant. I find that it keeps the shoulders from being too boxy. It just works out better for me. So I bet the squares would work as well, but just not for me. So here I am. Just I'll do this with every character. Actually, I'll draw the skull behind it. When I was a kid, I used to draw a lot of skulls. For some reason, I don't know if I was just a morbid child or just lacking something in my life, maybe love or whatever. But no, I'm just kidding. My parents love me a lot. But that's what I'll do. I'll just I used to always draw a skull underneath it, because I find that with the skull, it helps frame the face better. It helps keep me from making the face too flat, and that's especially important with anime characters, because they tend to have more subtle features than, say, somebody who draws comic books, for instance, where there's more structure in the face because it's very Americanized. So there's more bone structure, like the nose and the mouth is more pronounced. So in anime, the face is, you know, pretty simple, I'd say, and a lot of people tend to draw it pretty flat. So I come from a comic book background, so I draw bone structure, protruding things from the face very well. So that's where I find using the skull underneath it very helpful. So that's what I do for everything, and you should give it a try too. I mean, it might help you out as well. It all helps me out quite a bit. So right now I'm just duplicating. I'm trying to make the pose more dynamic. Just trying out a few different things and stuff like that. And surprisingly for this, I don't think I could have sworn I did more poses for it. Maybe I didn't record it. I'm recording this on OBS. I find it's probably the best you know, screen capturing program you can get, and it's totally free and it's amazing. And there's so many options. There's a 60 frames per second option. I think I'm recording this on 30 because I was gonna, you know, I'm gonna ramp it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I think I said before, each drawing takes me about 7 hours. I lied. It takes about 5 hours, and I'm ramping it out 7 times speed. That's where I was kind of confused about. And should we look at my phone here for a second? Yeah, this character, it was actually suggested to me by a YouTube user. Let me see if I can get I do remember who it is. I just don't remember what she goes by. Chrissy Lee. There we go. So thanks for that. That's pretty awesome. I really enjoy drawing this character. So, okay, what am I doing? So this is I think this video total is going to be about 40 minutes. Pretty long, so prepare yourself. You can, you know, fast forward it, skip to the end if you want to. You don't have to watch this entire thing or watch me ramble on and on and on, because I tend to talk a lot. So here's me just roughing in the details of the face, and see how I use the skull behind it to kind of frame exactly where I put the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And this is just something that's worked for me all my life. It's the only real technique that I found useful for me. I don't know, I don't remember, well, not that I don't remember, I don't know anybody else that does it quite the same. Most people tend to be able to kind of just draw straight with the, you know, kind of the egg-shaped head with a cross, with a line down the middle and in a cross, you know, like that cross. The thing that everybody does with heads when they draw heads. But this works out for me really well. I'm just drawing, just roughing out everything. I'm just really not good at this. I've never really, I don't do this much. It's not natural for me to kind of like talk over my drawing. I kind of sound like that one. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but it's Arnold commentating over it, like some of his movies and stuff like that. It's hilarious. If you guys haven't heard of it, go check it out. It's funny. He essentially just I think the one that I was watching was it Predator or was it like Commando or something like that? Anyway, he was just talking over it, and he would say the exact same thing as what's happening on the screen. It's just it's a great laugh. You should go check it out. So he's like, "This is where I climb onto the helicopter," and you know, that was a terrible impression, but yeah, he would just say things like that. I'm like, yeah, no shit, Arnold, we see that on the screen. Like, how about tell us about, you know, how you're feeling when you're climbing onto that helicopter? I don't know, but it's hilarious. But that's what I feel like right now. I'm just going, this is where I draw the hair, and this is where I draw the other piece of hair, and I see a nipple, and then the backside, and then the legs. I'm drawing the legs right now. Yeah. Essentially, it was like that. It's so funny. But anyway, so yeah, I kind of gotten myself off track there. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But I'll usually go through, I think you'll see here, a few passes with the lines, because I figured every time I draw, like I as you can see underneath it, I have a very rough, like skeletal almost kind of pose underneath it. And now I'm just going in with the more detailed form on a separate layer, and I work on a separate layer. A lot of people can work on one layer. I just don't know how they can do it. My background is After Effects animation. If you guys don't know what that is, it's similar to Flash animation. And if you don't know what that is, then you're kind of shit out of luck. But essentially, you design in layers so that you can animate each individual part. And I treat drawing the same way. And I don't know if that's the proper way. I'm trying to, yeah, I just don't know if it's the proper way. A lot of people tend to just draw only on a couple layers. But I can't. I use a billion layers because I'm terrified to make a mistake. So, you know, I'm just roughing out the clothes and stuff like that. And I have reference in front of me. It's like I have the book, like an art book type of thing, just sitting in front of me, and I'm using that as reference. And like I said, this is ramped up like super fast. It's like 7 times. So, I mean, I wish I can draw 7 times faster than I do. And oh, I'm looking at this now, and I remember how much a nuisance the jacket was for me to draw. Like I was having such a hard time drawing the jacket over the body, because you know, looking at clothing is one thing as it is when it sits on like a rack or like a coat hanger, but when you have to drape that clothing over a form, it becomes very difficult. It's like it's so hard for me, like especially with a suit jacket. I was never able to do it, and yeah, surprise surprise, Persona, you know, is a bunch of kids in school jackets. Excellent. So it was a bit of a disaster for me. So here I'm just going in there and I'm putting in harder lines, more detail, What layer am I working on? I'm still working on the third, I believe. Yeah, third. I can see it right there. So I'm just going in and defining it a bit more. And even at this point, I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Is this gonna turn out well? Like, but you know, worst comes to worst, I waste a few hours. No harm done, and I don't upload, right? Not a big deal. It's a learning experience. You know, if this fails, then I would just figure out a different way on how to approach this. Maybe do half of it off, like not record half of it and just kind of get all that sorted out, and then just record some of it. But in the end, I'm happy I did it this way, because for myself as well, because then I can look back and kind of see what I did wrong, processes that I can kind of streamline, and things like that. So it's super valuable. It's like just kind of research. You know, I don't know if other artists do this, where they will do a full speed paint and look back and pinpoint exactly where they where they could have done things better. So here I am just drawing the clothing, and you know, I mentioned before, drawing a jacket over a body is very difficult. Yeah, I mean, it's super difficult, and now I gotta throw like a hoodie or something like that over it, which adds to the difficulty level. So I think you'll see later on, I had to reset or regroup and gather my thoughts and draw a jacket on its own, with like not draped on a body, just to see the anatomy of it. I don't know if I did that in this drawing or is it the next one, but I guess you'll see soon enough. Who's texting me? I'm just getting off a cold too, so I might start coughing. And when I do cough, I just can't stop. Oh, yeah, it is in this one. So I start drawing a jacket, just on its own, just to kind of see the form. And there's a hoodie on top of the jacket. That's how it looks like. Happy face. And I drew a happy face because I'm like, Eureka! I think I got it. I think I got this one. So it always helps to do that. You know, still, even because I wanted to color this in a similar way to how Persona's colored, with a lot of, you know, strong, clean lines and flat colors. That's how I wanted to do it. So at this point, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I should just go the painterly route and just make it look like an oil painting, you know, because it looked really rough to me, and I wasn't confident at all that I can get this to look clean, like have nice, clean, sharp lines. Because generally, when I draw this kind of stuff, I do the I do the pencil lines on paper, and then I'll scan it in, so that way I ensure that the lines are nice and clean. But I'm really happy I did it this way. I was able to find some here. This is an interesting technique that I just kind of stumbled upon. I'm blocking things out with just the pen tool, like just freeform, and it's giving me, and here I am kind of like mixing soft lines with hard lines, because you need this thing's going way too fast, and I'm trying to talk and have it match the drawing at the same time, so I'm changing subjects really quickly. But essentially what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get soft and hard lines as a contrast, because it's just like with anything, you want dark and light, thickness and thin. I think I've talked about this before, but you want contrasting lines. If you have a solid line, then you want to put maybe a soft line beside it, and this makes things dynamic, keeps it from getting boring. So here I am, I'm just blocking out hard lines, and after doing this and using the eraser tool and stuff like that, I started realizing that this is looking pretty cool. Like, I can get some nice, clean, hard lines, the lines that I'm looking for. This is exactly what I was looking for. So my confidence was kind of going up at this point. I'm like, yeah, this could actually work out. You know, I think I'm happy with the face. The body's coming along. You know, the jacket is looking better than I thought, because I hate drawing jackets. And I like that little mistake there on the cuff, where there's just that black shape. I think I ended up keeping that in there because I think it just looked cool. Like, why not, right? It doesn't make sense. It's just a black shape that's there. And even those eraser lines, I kept all that in there. And those are the things that you can't get when you're doing it with ink on paper. These really cool hard shapes, eraser lines that you know, these interesting shapes that result in the tools in Photoshop. I wish I can draw this fast. Took a lot longer than this, I'll tell you. So yeah, I mentioned before I haven't played the game yet, so I don't even know if I'm capturing. Okay, let's tackle this hand. Right. I think I do hands separately, and then I connect them later on. I find it easier to work that way. It's just because it frees you from having to anchor it onto a wrist. So if you draw it freely and then put it on the wrist afterwards, then you're not too worried. It's almost like what I was talking about before, not in this video, but in a previous one, where plan out everything, like draw the entire body, draw the pose, and then take it one step at a time, right? Like you would draw the pose and then you would draw the lines above it, and just make sure it's finished. Like don't move on to the next thing until one thing is done, because what happens is if you do that, if you draw a really detailed face, then you have to worry about matching a body to that face, and 9 out of 10 times it's not going to work out to your advantage, or it's going to be a huge struggle to kind of match that body to that beautiful face that you drew. So plan the body out, plan the pose, and then work on the face. So when you're done the face, right, then the body's already there. It's already roughed out. And this is the same thing here, what I'm doing with the hand. So I'm kind of just isolating the hand on its own, so I don't have to worry about trying to retrofit it onto a wrist at the same time. So I draw the hand separately, and then I stick it onto the wrist or the arm. It's I found that helped a lot in this drawing. And if that hand didn't work out, there's 4 other ones that I drew that might work out, and that's set aside. Another thing you couldn't do if you were doing it classic art style on like pencil and paper. Advantages and disadvantages, right? And right now I'm just going back and I'm realizing parts that I didn't like and parts that I did like, and I'll do that a lot too. If something's not working, like for instance the jacket, I abandoned that quite a bit and I went and focused on something else. And then I would go back, and then I would have a breakthrough moment where things would just kind of fall into place. And I think it's very important to do that. If you find yourself stuck, it could be as simple as a nose. Just get it to a point that you think looks all right, and then just leave it for a couple hours or so, or even a few minutes or whatever. And and don't look at it at all, and then go back up there and then look at it and say, okay, this is what I don't like about it, and then fix it. So sometimes you just need that extra time to step away from your artwork, just so you're not like every artist falls into it, where they're looking at a piece so long it becomes so abstract that they don't understand what it is that looks bad about it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but and a lot of the times I'll show my piece to somebody and they'll be like, that head looks kind of big for that body. And I'd get defensive. I'll be like, I drew it like that on purpose. But meanwhile, I really didn't. And, I had to step back, step away from the piece, and come back in a few hours. And then sure enough, it's like, yeah, maybe that head is a bit too big for that body, right? So, when you sit at it and you're looking at it for so long, it just becomes so abstract that you just kind of lose sight of proportions and how it should look. So do that. Step away and then come back if you're having issues with it. And I found that helped out with this piece quite a bit, because I had issues with the face, didn't look right, stepped away from it, focused on this stupid jacket thing, couldn't get that to look right, stepped away from that, went back to the face, fixed the face, came back, looked at the jacket again, fixed the jacket, and then everything just kind of worked out. How far in are we on here? This is like only 18 minutes in. This is just a really long video. I'm just under halfway through. So I'm painting the hair, or I'm drawing in the hair now, and for some reason I used to love drawing hair when I was a kid. I was really good at it, and then I just became shitty at it. Either that, or I just seen other people do it so much better than me, so my perspective on it was different, you know. I don't think I got shittier. I just think that there's so much artwork out there, or so many people out there that can draw awesome hair, that just the competition's gotten better. And I'm sure if I was to look at, you know, some of my pieces that I did as a kid, which I thought was awesome, it probably looks like garbage now. But I'm happy. That's reassuring to me, because it says that I've improved, right? When you stop improving is when you just don't see your mistakes anymore, and you think you think your artwork is amazing. And I've seen people go through that as well, where they just kind of never evolve. They draw exactly the same way they did 10 years ago, and that's only because you know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they just grown to accept their style and love it for what it is. I believe my work looks completely different now than it ever did. And like I said before, that's a good thing. That's reassuring to me. So yeah, I'm going in with the brushes, and it's taken form, right? Like at this point, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, it's a lot of fun to draw. I'm messing up a billion times, and it doesn't matter, because there's that, you know, Alt Control Delete thing or whatever, or Shift Z, I don't know what it is, the history quick key, or an eraser tool. You can mess up as much as you want, and it's completely fine. You can always go back and fix it, like I'm doing right now, because I hate drawing feet. Which is actually not bad. I've gotten better, because I never used to draw feet at all. And that's what I was talking about before, is draw the entire figure and finish it first, like get all this stuff roughed in there so that you don't have to worry about it later. And that's what I've been doing with my pieces, and I'm ending up with what I find is I'm ending up with completed feet pieces, not just a head here, a shoulder here, and then stop, right? Which is great. It's something that was difficult at first, but now I'm really beginning to like it. So hopefully one day I'll start liking drawing feet. So I don't know what kind of music I'm gonna put over this. Maybe some jazz music. I always put jazz music. Maybe we get some EDM or something like that. Nah, that's terrible. It's probably gonna be jazz. Yeah, so you know, just going in there, it's amazing. I didn't think that just going in there with the eraser tool. A lot of you guys have been doing this for a long time. We're like, what the hell? This guy's just discovering eraser tool? Like, must be super old school. And the truth is, I am. Up until I got this tablet, or even the Cintiq Companion 1 to a certain extent, but I had my issues there as well. It just wasn't as quick and snappy. The Mobile Studio Pro is a lot quicker, so it allows me to pan around. And this image is huge. It's like 600 dpi. I think it was like 22 by 18 or something stupid like that. So yeah, the Mobile Studio Pro is completely capable of handling stuff like this. And I mean, there are points that it does slow down, but not to a point where it's unusable. And it's only it doesn't happen all the time. And here I am again. I'm just drawing the hands separately, so I don't have to worry about trying to fit it onto the body where it sits. And I do have an under drawing there, so that helps a lot as well. Yeah, this is new to me. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, I'm gonna probably do a lot more. Don't know what my next piece is gonna be, but so far at this point in the drawing, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So chances are I probably will do this again, unless some of you guys say, oh, the video is just too long, we just hate hearing your voice, we just want to see it you know, an 8-minute video super ramped up really quickly. We just want to see the beginning and end. That's all. Just shut up. Your voice is annoying. You're a monotone dude. You're not funny at all. And I wrote you because I didn't like that hand. It looked like a witch's hand. Yeah, so again, I do listen to feedback, and if you guys you know, find something that you don't like, or you find it's unuseful, that's like the Trump era, right? I'm using words, just making up words. If you find words, things that aren't useful, just let me know. Or maybe I won't care because I'm having fun, right? And who the hell cares? Who's to tell me I can't have fun? So what am I doing? There's so many hands going on. Yeah, I think I settled with that one. Yeah, I think that's the one I went with for some reason. The hands don't make sense in this. Like, again, I don't have context as to what this character is like. So if she holds a purse, or if she does a you know, like a finger pointing like a gun or whatever like that, I wish I knew. I don't, and that's my fault because I haven't played the game. And yeah, I was just thinking of this whole YouTube thing. Isn't it amazing? Like, there's no time in history where you could actually do this, like where I could have done this. Just do a drawing from beginning to end and upload it and just share it, and you know, just get people to look at it, and it's pretty awesome. I think it's a whole different world we're living in. Oh God, what did I write that for? I think the hand was too small. Oh no, I wrote that for the feet because I hate drawing feet. So overall, I really dig the way the face turned out. It's not a direct copy of you know, the art style of Persona. It's kind of a hybrid of that plus the way I normally draw. So I was kind of happy about that. I'm really struggling with this hand. I'm like, nothing looks right. I just ended up with that. I'm like, oh fuck it, let's just do this. Maybe I should have made her holding like a briefcase. I don't know if she even does hold a briefcase or not. And you'll see artists do this a lot too. They'll flip the canvas over because you'd be surprised, guys. Like, I mean, how messed up a face could look if you don't do this. So if you have if you're drawing digitally, do this often. And I don't have a quick key created for that, where I should. I'm doing it the hard way. I think I'm doing colors now, or I'm setting it up anyway. And colors goes by really fast. Like right now I'm on the 27-minute mark, and this is a 40-minute video, I believe. So yeah, it's gonna be just coloring and cleaning up for the rest of it. So coloring, it looks like it's about 1/3 of the process. I thought it was actually a lot quicker. I thought it was maybe yeah, I thought it was a lot quicker because it doesn't feel like coloring takes me a long time, but maybe it's because I enjoy it. I enjoy it more. No, I guess, yeah, technically it wouldn't take longer to color because line art, you know, well, there's a lot of lines. So again, I'm doing this, you know, the decal or the iron-on. Is it an iron-on? It's the stitching, you know, separately, so I don't have to worry about conforming it onto a body. And this is just me and my graphic design roots. I do this a lot anyway. Even if it wasn't for an illustration, I'll do logos and stuff like that separately, and I'll then I'll plop it on afterwards. It's a lot easier to do it that way. Feels like I'm losing my voice because it's pretty hard. Like, it's a marathon here. I'll be talking for 40 minutes. I don't think I ever do that. The longest I ever talk in a day is maybe 2 minutes, because I hate talking on the phone. And at work, I'm like super shy, so I don't talk too much at work. Actually, I'm not super shy at work. I'm lying. I just don't talk a lot because I hate people. I'm kidding. I don't hate people. Yeah, I do. Sometimes when I'm sleepy. So I'm adjusting the line color in the background. Oh, there's some faces, random faces. I think that's a drawing in the background. Colors, I suck. I really do. So the jacket is going to be darker hue, and the skin and the hair is going to be lighter, so I make the line work underneath it. Now I'm trying a bunch of different things, like using the magic wand to select. As you can see, guys, I'm not even joking when I say I don't color at all, because I mean, you'll see a lot of techniques. Now I'm just blocking it out like freeform with a pen. This works the best for me, I found. So I think I use that the most, but then I'm like, that was kind of slow, and then yada yada. And I do the hair the same way, where I use like a magic wand. I'm like, what the frig? It's like, this isn't working out. So I don't know what the hell. Now I'm using a brush, like this took super long. Like I could have just easily selected it with a pen and be done. So as you can see, I'm learning myself. I'm trying to find out the best ways to do things. And eventually I'm gonna get really good at this thing. I just have to stick to it, and then I'll find out ways to be more efficient. Like I see, I'm still using magical, like what is that? That's garbage, and I end up having to go brush it in anyway and waste all this time. So I'm coloring. I'm using the colors on a separate layer. It's underneath it, obviously. If you look on my layers palette, everything's kind of all there. Writing's on the wall. I'm gonna reference now. What color's the shirt? It's white, but I'm gonna color the mid-tones first, which is a light gray, and then probably white as a highlight on top, and then darker gray underneath it. And I think I use an overlay or something like that afterwards for darks, but I can't remember. It's either multiply or overlay. Actually, I think it's multiply now. I use it on a separate layer, so. But we'll get to that. So I'm just flattening the colors now, as they say in, I think it's comic book terminology. There's actually a job for that. Somebody, they pay people to just flatten colors in comic books. On the plaid, but not these things. Hope no porn pops up. I'm doing this really late at night. I'm gonna probably go to sleep soon. I'm actually really tired. It just hit me. I just hit a wall right there. So I'm going in and I'm brushing it in, and there's mistakes. Like there's colors that kind of, the darkness kind of bleeds through some parts, and I leave it because it's interesting. You're the artist. You can do whatever the hell you want, right? So you make these decisions. I mean, if it looks cool, just leave it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So find perfection in imperfection, as they say. Or nobody says that, actually. I just made that up. But it sounds cool, right? You can quote me on that. So what is this? I'm using trying to figure out like how to do gradations. I don't think I ever ended up using that. See, now I'm brushing straight onto there with an overlay on the colors. If you use black and you brush on with an overlay, it'll actually just darken the color that's underneath it already. And if you use white, it'll do the opposite. It'll actually brighten everything. I used to color a lot that way. When I do colored storyboards, I will color that way. I'll just flatten colors, and for darks and lights, I'll just use black and white with an overlay on it, and it works. Give it a shot. But it doesn't work well when you're trying to do something super awesome. It just works well enough, because you miss a lot of subtle colors when you do it that way. So right now I am using a separate layer for the darks, and I'm using dark color. Like, what the frig? What am I doing? I think it was supposed to be multiply. I think I was supposed to be using multiply for this. Like I said, I'm still learning. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I think at the end of the day, I'm I ended up getting too detailed with the colors. I wanted it more simple. Like there's too many lines in the face. So when you're adding, every time you add a shade to the face, especially in the case of when you're drawing female characters, it adds age, like and it adds shapes and dimension to that face that you might have not wanted to be in there in the first place. So you have to be very careful with that. Some of you guys might have noticed that when you've done the line art and you love it, and then you bring it in the color and you start adding shades like the way I'm doing over here, and it kind of ruins the face. It looks like a completely different person. It's because every time you add a shade, you're adding a line. That's essentially a line, right? That's how our eyes see things. We don't see black ink lines. I mean, the lines are determined by the colors of the shapes next to it. So if you have like a white, and then you have like a gray on top of it, for instance, that tone or that shade is making that line. I don't know if that freaking makes sense or not. It makes sense in my head. Like for instance, right there, that shadow right there, I didn't have to draw it as a line. It just comes together with color. So, going back to the face, if you're adding the shadow behind the nose, you're adding a line behind the nose. So that just changes the overall look. So just be very careful when you're doing that. And I like to draw, for under the eyes, I always add like a bag or something. Not a bag, I mean, it is like a bag under the eye. But I won't draw it with an ink because it's very harsh. I'll wait till the coloring phase, and I'll color it. Like I'll add a little nick underneath the eye just to kind of show that it is there, because I think that's fine. But for the most part, I will add that shade afterwards to just give the hint that there's dimension there, that the light is casting a shadow underneath the eye. When I pan up, you'll see it. You'll see what I mean. And under the neck as well. That's just a shade. You don't have to draw. You don't have to draw that line there. Just resolve it in the coloring phase. Battery is fucked. Later. Okay, so I leave because my battery died. I think I was doing this at work in the lobby because during my lunch or something like that. I hope no work. My boss doesn't watch this video. Find time to do artwork, right? I mean, it's my lunch anyway, so who the hell cares? I think that's why I was doing it, and I actually got this done in like half an hour or something like that. Oh, that just jumped in quality really fast. I think something happened there for sure. I don't know what I did. I feel as though 15 minutes of the movie was skipped somehow. I think I edited it wrong. But anyway, it is what it is. It's a lot more finished now than it was like a minute ago. I'm just going to go in and add the lights and stuff like that. This always comes in last, and it brings everything together really well. And I'm not really good at this. Some people are so amazing at it, just bringing out the details with lights. I'm not so good, but just serviceable. I'm all right. See, and I'm really happy right now of how clean the lines are. I didn't think I could ever get it to this level, but it was a pleasant surprise, that's for sure. And it's things like this that kind of make me want to just keep doing this, because I'm getting new like decent results, right? I'm getting results that I didn't think I could get, which is pretty awesome. This thing's coming to an end. I have like 2 minutes left, just a little under 2 minutes, I believe, of the video, and I think it ends abruptly, so it's probably gonna cut to me doing this and then straight into my my ending comments on the piece and how I felt. So the decal's done separately, and then I just distort it with the distort tool. I put it on top, I drop it, I put an overlay on it. It looks like it's a part of the shirt. Easy. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm trying to add some like graphic design to it. No, I printed this on a white background because the ink that my printer takes is really expensive. Like, I'd be a fool if I was to print that red background, even though I like the look of it. But yeah, I'd be a sucker if I did that. It's cool. This whole thing's almost done. I just have to edit this, edit everything together and then post it. And then I'll have another video up in a while. Like, it's been a while since I've had my last one. But, you know, video games, and it's not just video games too. I've been super busy with work as well. Like, some weeks I was doing 7 days a week and evenings as well. It's just work picked up a lot, which is great. I love it. I mean, it means more money for me. So it's funny too, because even as a kid, I never really liked money, but I live in a very expensive city where money is a necessity, and you need it. It's not like, yeah, you just absolutely need money in this freaking city. Okay, so that was it. I hope you guys liked it. I enjoyed doing it a lot. So I think I'm gonna do some more characters in this universe in a similar style. I really dig it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Very flat shapes, almost cell-like. I know it's very Persona-esque. Yeah, that's it. But not quite. I think I went a bit aggressive with the shadows and the colors for this one. But overall, not too bad, right? Like I said, I'm not used to coloring this way. I've only done maybe a couple of paintings or coloring, digital colors this way, so I still have to get way better at it. But yeah, the next one I'm thinking of doing Ryuji, because just simply, I think he looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it. Anyway, if you guys liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a follow if you haven't already. And I really appreciate it, guys. And right now I'm just sitting over like 1,000 followers, which is like 900 more than I thought I would ever get. So I really appreciate it. It's kind of awesome to me. I'm digging it a lot. Anyway, until the next video, I will see you later. Okay, bye.